Are you cruising with Princess? I've got the latest information and some really good news that I think you're going to be happy about the protocols, testing, and more, all coming up in this video. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Now, in today's video, I'm really excited to share the information. We have the latest protocols, but I'm really going to go way beyond that. And I'm going to share a couple of new benefits that I think you really want to know about. I'm also going to share some details that you absolutely need to know about the Book with Confidence policy and Cruise Line Air. So if you do book Cruise Line Air, you're definitely going to want to hear this. And of course, I'm going to share some of the latest cruise news from Princess. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please do give the video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Now, for those that don't know, perhaps you're watching my channel for the first time, I'm really a very big fan of Princess Cruises. And as a matter of fact, we are cruising with Princess in just a couple of months. So I really pay particular close attention to the different updates that come from Princess Cruises. And I go into the details that are sometimes just kind of glossed over that I know that you're going to want to know about. So let's start first with a protocol update. So Princess has extended their protocols up until the end of February. So one thing that I really like about this is the fact that at least it's predictable. We know what to expect, and I think that's a good thing. So something to note is that you will need to be vaccinated to sail on Princess, and that means that children that are under 12 years of age cannot sail on Princess until the time that they are eligible to get a vaccine. Now, the testing requirements remain 2 days before your cruise. So as per CDC guidelines, so if you're cruising on a Sunday, then you can get your test on the Saturday or on the Friday. Now, for testing, either an antigen or a PCR test is acceptable, as are those home tests that are medically supervised. Now, if you're not sure what test to buy, which test is acceptable, then what Princess has done to make it a little bit easier is they do have a link right on their website. You go right where it says testing, and you will be able to find a link that will go right to the website so that you can order that test right there to be shipped to your home. Now, something to note, this is only available for shipping in the United States. Now, masks will be required inside the cruise ship, in elevators, in shops, in the casino, in certain venues when you are not eating and drinking. You will not need to wear your mask when you're in your cabin, when you're outdoors in most cases. And something that Princess does point out is that you would have to follow any of the port local regulations. So if they have masking guidelines in stores and that kind of thing, then you would have to wear them then. So make sure that you do bring some masks on board with you. Include that in your cruise packing list. Okay, moving on to some really good news. You may have been wondering, what happens if I don't get my test results back on time? Maybe you're nervous about that. I know a lot of people are. Well, Princess has a new option for people that I think is just awesome, and that is shoreside testing. Now, something to note is this is really considered like a last resort. Princess does not want people to use this and rely on the shoreside testing instead of getting your testing done in advance. And let's face it, who wants to do that? You want to make sure that you're not going to test positive before getting on the ship. But if something happens and you don't get your test results back on time, this is something good. Now, something to note is the cost is, I believe that it's $150. So it is not inexpensive. And at the same time, they do not take insurance. So they will give you a receipt and you can claim it on your own insurance. But that is something important to know. At least it's a backup. If you were worried about it, you can have a little bit of peace of mind knowing this. Now, speaking of testing, I know that a lot of people that are either flying internationally or flying to Canada or now driving through the Canadian land border. This is such good news. As of November 9th, it looks like that US land border is going to be open to Canadians. I am so happy about it. All right, getting back though to the testing. So if you need testing to get back into Canada or because you need to fly internationally and you need to have that, Princess is providing that free of charge. Now, what they're going to be doing is that shoreside testing. You will be able to get off the ship and get your testing done there, and you can get either the antigen test or the PCR test. From what I see, it looks like the PCR test will take about an hour and the antigen test will take less time. So if you are flying back on the last day of your cruise, make sure that you leave ample time between disembarkation and between your flight to allow time for that testing. Now, Princess also extended its Book with Confidence policy, which is basically Princess's flexible cancellation policy. Now, this is applicable on all bookings made up until the end of the year, so December 31st, 2021, and all sailings through April 2022. Now, how this works is that you can cancel your cruise up until 30 days before your cruise, and any penalties that you would have had, well, they will be held for you as a future cruise credit. And you can use them on any cruises up until the end of the year of 2022. Now, if you like to book your air with Princess's Easy Air program, which honestly is very competitive, very good in my opinion, but what you'll want to do is make sure that you do choose flexible air. Really try to always stay away from restricted air because it's called restricted for a reason. There are many restrictions. So as long as you book flexible air, then the amount of money, the cost of your flight, well, that will also be held for you as a future cruise credit that you can use on your cruise in the future. Now, Princess also has its COVID-19 protection plan, and this is for bookings made up until the end of this year, December 31st, 2021, for sailings through April 2022. And it is designed to be a reassurance for passengers, especially if you think about what happens if you're denied boarding at embarkation. Well, what would happen is you would receive a future cruise credit for the entirety of the cruise, minus the taxes and the port fees that will come back to you as a refund. As well, on board, there's COVID care services that are provided free of charge. There's shoreside assistance, and you'd receive a credit for any missed days on the cruise if you were quarantined. Now, something to keep in mind, and Princess does point out as well, is this is not a replacement for travel insurance. So you still want to have travel insurance. This is as important as ever, but it really is a lot of assistance, and I think it really is helpful. Now, I have a couple of quick pieces of news to let you know in just a moment, but first I did want to share with you two really good things that Princess has done with the Princess Vacation Protection. So just something to mention, Princess Vacation Protection is that insurance that is good for you when you are on the cruise itself. You still want to discuss this with your travel agent or look into all the different aspects of what insurance you need. But the Princess Vacation Protection now has a higher amount, a higher benefit for trip interruptions. So this is something good. And something that I think is very important, very good, is they've also added or increased the medical evacuation or the emergency medical evacuation benefit. So do look into that. Make sure that it's adequate for you. There is standard and premium protection, but I think this is some good news because I know a lot of people do take this and worry about that emergency medical evacuation. Wow, I cannot believe how much news there is and how many updates there are from Princess, but this one is a really big one. Princess has a new president. So you might remember in the past it was Jan Schwartz, and she received a permission. She's now the president of, I believe it's Holland America Group. And now the president of Princess is John Paget. Now, if his name sounds familiar, it is because he is really, I guess, the mastermind, if you want, him and his team behind the whole medallion class, the Ocean Medallion program. And as well, he and his team were the ones behind Disney's Magic Band. So congrats to John Paget. There have really been so many changes over the last few years at Princess, and really so many great innovations. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, I cannot wait. We're going to be sailing in a couple of months on a Princess cruise. I don't know if I've actually shared the cruise yet, but I am going to in a future video, and I will be talking about the process of how to get ocean ready because it really is different now. It has to be done on the app. So I'm going to be doing all of that, even though I've sailed with Princess before and I've gotten ocean ready. I've never done it on the Medallion Class app, and there's a lot of things for me to go through and learn and to share with you. So please, if you will, share with me your experiences in the comments below about Princess, if you have sailed with them perhaps maybe this summer or this fall, and if you've used the Medallion Class app, and if you've been able to do all of those different things, what you think, even of the onboard experience. But as well, share with me any questions that you have that I can put into a future video, and I will definitely do that. Now, I hope that you found this video helpful. I am going to leave a video right after this one all about Princess Plus. So if you're wondering if it's worth it or not, I will share with you the details in this video. Now, if you did enjoy this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.